السلام عليكم، كيف الحال؟ اسمي أركان الطري، أهلا وسهلا. Assalamu alaikum, اسمي أركان الطري. Welcome back to Arabi Sahel Easy Arabic podcast. Today's lesson is about gender in Arabic. Now, when we say gender in a language, we mean non-biological gender. If the noun is biologically female or male, it's easy to deal with in Arabic. However, for non-biological gender, we have to deal with this. In Arabic, there are only two genders, feminine or masculine. There's no neutral like in English. Gender in Arabic applies for nouns, adjectives, and verbs. Now, the noun is the one that determines the gender of the whole sentence. How do we determine if the word is feminine or masculine? There are a few things that you can look at the word and see if the word is feminine or masculine. There are a few things that you can see when you look at a word and see if it's feminine. Let's start with the first one, the easiest one, and the default is the ta marbuta. Ta marbuta is a letter. Well, it's not really a letter in the alphabet, but it is a letter, and it comes at the end of the word. It only comes at the end of nouns or adjectives. If we have a word like talib, student, then the feminine would be taliba, taliba, with the ta marbuta at the end. Now, the ta marbuta has the t sound when it has the short vowels. But when I say the word, for example, taliba, the sound that the ta marbuta gives here is the sound. Another word, muallim, muallim, teacher. Muallima, muallima is female teacher. Now, these two are nouns, and I said before that the ta marbuta also comes at the end of the adjectives to make it or to change it from masculine to feminine. So if we have an adjective like kabir, big, kabir, we just add the ta marbuta at the end and it becomes kabira, kabira. Kabir as a masculine adjective describes a masculine noun. Kabira as a female adjective describes a feminine noun. Another adjective, kareem. Kareem. Kareem means generous. If I want to describe a woman as generous, I would say karima. Karima. These two actually work as names for people. Kareem is a very common boy's name, and Karima, less common girl's name. Now, even though I just said that the ta marbuta at the end of a noun or adjective show us that this word is feminine, not all words that have the ta marbuta at the end are feminine. Also, if the word doesn't have the ta marbuta at the end, it doesn't mean that it's not feminine. In a nutshell, you need to learn the words. I'll give you an example of a word that ends in ta marbuta, but it's not feminine. A name like Hamza, Hamza ends with a ta marbuta and it's a boy's name. While Zainab is a girl's name and it doesn't have ta marbuta at the end. Yes, we have the rule, but we also have exceptions. I do recommend you learn the words. Most case scenario, generally speaking, you've got the word that is masculine, you add ta marbuta, and it's feminine. I would say it works much more in adjectives than nouns. Don't stress about it though. Early in the lesson, I said that we are dealing with non-biological nouns, non-biological gender. Having said that, it'll be easy for you to learn the words for biological gender. For example, if you have a word like rajul, man, or imra'a, woman, then you know if the meaning of the word means male or female, then it's automatically gets treated or affects the sentence in a masculine or feminine way. So, ta marbuta could help us identify feminine nouns. That's number one. Number two, go back to what I said earlier in the lesson about biological gender. If the word refers to a biological gender, masculine or feminine, it'll be easier to identify. So let's take a word like rajul. Rajul means man. So I know that this word rajul in the sentence will affect the rest of the sentence, the adjective or the verb, and it'll be all masculine. Imra'a is woman. So we have rajul, man, imra'a, woman. Walad, boy, bint, girl. If you know these words, you know the meaning of these words, you'll be able to use it in a sentence and agree with the adjective or the verb, whether it's masculine or feminine. Ab, father, mother. Similarly with the family words, akh, brother, ocht, sister. I think this is easier than the ta marbuta, but again, you have to learn the words. It'll be easier if you learn the words, if you have rich vocabulary. The richer it gets, the better it will be for you. Number three, another way we can identify feminine nouns is if they are cities or countries. The names are feminine, so it'll be easier to identify the name. Oh, that's a city name. So I know which adjective I can give it, feminine adjective. Let's say we want to talk about Jerusalem, Al-Quds. Al-Quds is how we say Jerusalem in Arabic. Now, Al-Quds is city. That means that the adjective has to be feminine. I'm going to use the adjective I used earlier, kabira, big. So my sentence would be Al-Quds kabira. Al-Quds kabira. In Arabic, the adjective comes after the noun. Number four, how we can identify feminine nouns. That's number four and last. And that's for body parts that come in pairs, like eyes, arms, ears. Usually, if we're talking about one of them, we use feminine voice. For example, yad. Yad is hand. I'm going to use the same adjective as before, kabira. Yad kabira. A big hand. Yad kabira. These are a few points that can help you identify feminine nouns. But again, with every rule, there are exceptions. I would say, yes, use the rule, rely on the rule, but not completely. You need to learn the words themselves. The more you learn, the richer your vocabulary get, the easier it will get for you. In this lesson, I did not go deep into the gender and the structure of the sentence. It's just to get you started. Learn that Arabic has feminine and masculine voice. Later on in lessons, when we start learning how to address people or introduce people or talk about people, we have always feminine, masculine. It's different when the speaker is female or male, but also it's different when we address somebody or we talk about somebody. We need to pay attention whether they're female or male. And that goes for humans, animals, and everything else, even abstract nouns. Today's cultural point. When entering a room, you have to greet everybody who's sitting there. Sounds stressful? Maybe. Here's the thing. Let's say you walk into a room, whether it's at someone's house, your house, a classroom, doctor's office. When you enter a room and there are people there, whether it's one person or 10, you have to greet them. In the previous lesson, we learned some greetings like sabah al-khair, marhaba, assalamu alaikum. Once you enter the room, you greet in a loud voice so everybody can hear. Arabs expect somebody who enters the room to greet them, but also the person who greets people in the room expect them to greet them back. Arabs place a great value on respect and politeness, and it's really considered rude if you walk into a room and you don't greet people. Now, at the beginning, it might be a bit difficult. As a foreigner, they're not going to look at you and like, oh, you're so rude. But they do expect it from you as a learner of Arabic to learn these etiquettes. And you score a lot of points with people. They'll be amazed, surprised, and supportive, quite supportive. Don't worry if you don't know anybody in the room, it's fine. You can say hi to complete strangers or your loved ones. Just make sure that when you meet somebody, when you walk into a room full of people, greet them. Have confidence and greet them. They will greet you back. And even if they don't be hard on yourself. Here's another thing when it comes to greeting. We love to greet. If a man walks down the road and he meets somebody that he might know, they will shout marhaba, assalamu alaikum, sabah al khair to other person. However, and I stress something that I already mentioned in a previous lesson, a man doesn't do that to a woman. Also, a woman doesn't do that to a man. So no mixed gender. A man greets a man on the street, a woman greets a woman on the street, but no mixed gender. No man expects a woman that he knows, unless they're family, that she would like shout, Assalamu alaikum, marhaba, kif al-hal. No, it's maybe a nod. You might nod from far. Yeah, but that's about it. It's out of politeness that you know the person, you met them on the road, and yeah, even if you meet them at the shop. Well, if you meet somebody you know in a shop, you might strike a short conversation like, hi, how are you, how's it going, how's the family, that sort of thing. Unless it's family, men, or like co-workers, maybe colleagues or classmates, they won't really go deep into the conversation. Let's say you go into a building, office of some sort, company, shop, and there is a guard outside. It's very polite to greet that guard. You just say like marhaba or assalamu alaikum or sabah al khair. They're really simple greetings. And you just walk away. You don't have to start a conversation with them. Guards are usually men in the Arab world. As a woman, again, you don't have to greet them. It's polite to do so, like just greet them and walk away. Again, Arabs appreciate a greeting, even if it's just like as simple as marhaba and as casual as just say it and walk away. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. يعطيكم العافية. See you in the next lesson. Assalamu alaikum.